Hello friends, Tanya here for Spellbinders, and today I'm going to play with some things from from this summer. This is from the Sealed for Summer release. We're going to use the Glimmer alphabet with the coordinating stencils, which is so fun. I love that these plates foil half of the alphabet at a time, and the dies will die cut them. We're going to use this fun speckled gold, and you can see these little registration marks. These are going to help when we do the die cutting. So I'm going to secure our plates to the paper with the foil between. I'm using the Best Ever craft tape. Love this stuff. This is the same roll I got when I first purchased it, and that's been a year, 2 years, however long they've had it out. It is fantastic. So I've got my heated up platform here. I'm going to lay our sandwiched up plate foil and cardstock. We'll add our shims and plates, let that heat up again, to be honest, and then run it through the die cutting machine, my Platinum. And there are our foiled alphabets. And again, you can see those registration marks. We're also going to do some reverse foiling on some glossy black cardstock. And this is where the registration marks come in super handy. You're going to line that up so everything looks good and within those registration marks. And I'm going to die cut these because these are going to be gold and white alphabet. And look at that. We've got gold and we have black. Sorry, we've got gold and black and we've got gold and white. And then we're also going to glimmer up some Glimmer bouquets. Now this has a foil plate and a coordinating die. I'm going to do some pink. I think this is pink. Yes, pink. That's the Satin Pastels pink. And we're going to do, I think I did this in some matte gold a few times. Oh, nope, it was this speckled gold. I don't know if that's exactly the name of it, of that foil, but I will link it in the description box below. Both of these turned out gorgeous. There is a coordinating die that die cuts these bouquets of flowers. And there we go, we have both colors. Now I've taken and foiled that alphabet again, and we're going to use the coordinating stencils. We'll line those up, and it does half of the alphabet at a time. I'm also going to use my stamp wheel here because it's got that photopolymer base. We're using Crackling Campfire, Squeezed Lemonade, and is that Tumbled Glass or Salvage Patina? Either way, we've got our three primary colors, and we're going to do a rainbow blend here. So we have red, yellow, blue that will blend into orange and green. So we have an almost complete blend of rainbow effect across our alphabet. I'll wipe that down, and then I'm going to switch pieces of cardstock because we're going to take the other half of the alphabet. Oh, just turned out gorgeous. Love that. And we're going to ink blend that the same way. Now this is going to create a big variety in which letters are what color. You could do alphabets in each of these colors and then alternate your different letters, but I liked the blend look on this, and it's so quick and easy. Love this. And if you need to do a few, honestly, it's so easy. If you even wanted to just do the ink blending on a couple. And there is the second half. I'll line that die up again using those registration marks and the peek throughs on the die to make sure we have it lined up nice and neat. I still have the tape from the last ones that I did. We'll just secure those. And they're small enough to actually run through this sidekick. There's several smaller die machines out on the market. This is the one I've had for a long time. There's lots of them that will work just the same. Now to keep all of these letters organized, I'm just going to pop them all into separate containers. Actually, I think I have all three colors in one bin at this point, but at some point I do separate them into the black and gold, the white and gold, and the rainbow and gold. And I have the extras saved in 3 different little baggies so I can use them in the future. Super easy to do. And if you enjoy using alphabet sets to create whatever sentiment you want, these are for you. Now we're going to take some Distress Oxide inks, and we're going to create an ink blended rainbow-ish background. Although this is not 3 primary colors, we've got a pink, a yellow, and a green. They do follow in the gradient here. And I'm going to alternate stripes here. We'll have pink, yellow, green, yellow, pink, yellow, green, yellow. And I just use the width of our mini ink blending tool here to determine the width of each of these stripes. Super easy to do, and you can go back and forth and blend between the different colors. I'm being careful to not have my pink and my green combine at all, because that would create mud. This is a 5x7 piece of cardstock because I'm going to make, of course, a 5x7 card, my favorite size. Now this is definitely not summer anymore. We've entered into fall where I live, but it's nice to throw in a good floral card even when it's not summer. We love to create with florals no matter when. This is the Floral and Vine 3D embossing folder, and it is stunning. I did have some beautiful effect from just the embossing, but we're going to take the Slippery When Wet Lunar paste, and we're going to add some highlights to the raised portions of this embossing. Just going to use my fingertip to apply the solar paste all over the card front. And this does take a couple minutes, but I really enjoy the effect that this creates. If you haven't gotten your hands on any of the solar pastes, I would encourage you to start with Slippery When Wet. It makes a great gold, and it's honestly the color that I have used the most so far. It doesn't have its own applicator, but a fingertip does work. And you can use this with a palette knife, through a stencil like you would many other texture pastes. You can use it with your finger. You can use it with the palette knife and just rub it into a onto a piece of cardstock to create your own foiled paper. I've also used my finger to do that, or a sponge dauber to apply it. Lots of great ways to use solar paste. You can use it as a paint also. Now, to clean it off of my finger, I have to clean my work surface anyway, so I have a puddle of water, soapy water here, that I've sprayed onto the surface, and I use that puddle to moisten the product on my finger and wipe it off. Next, we're going to use some Copic markers to color the pink foiled floral bouquet. I've got this central daisy type flower that we're going to color yellow. I'm not really doing much for shading with this. I really am going to just use these 3 colors of Copic markers. I am not being super careful to keep each of these petals individual. I'm just trying to stay within the foiling lines, and those lines do really help to make more precise coloring. I'm going to take the pink marker and add some shading to the centers of this flower. I like the way this pink and yellow blend together to create a new color. I add that shading to the rest of the yellow flowers, and then I'm going to move on to the greenery. Oh, I guess I did add another green. So I've got a lighter, kind of a earthy green that I'm adding, and then I use that first green as some shading. Then I do bring in another pink for the center of the flower. I guess it's been so long since I did this. This video has been sitting, waiting for me to come back and do the voiceover for a couple months now. We have the Essential Modern Ovals, which are a nice long oval. They work great on lots of different styles. We're also going to use the Glimmering All About You plate and die. This is a glimmer foil plate that says today is all about you. I figure out exactly how much space I need to be able to use that oval die, add a little tape to create a hinge with my plate, And we've got some polished brass foil here. And my hinge wasn't very good. We're still in the right spot. Going to make that hinge again. Add another piece of tape to secure that to our paper so it doesn't move around. Put it on our hot platform, set the timer, and run it through the die cut machine. And here we have a beautifully foiled sentiment for the front of our card. Now, I do change my mind a couple times. I decided to use a smaller oval so we could have a mat behind this piece. And then I decided I wanted the pink foiling. So we're going to add that brushed white cardstock behind the foiled sentiment layer. And I'm trying to figure out placement on our card. I was going to try to off-center this, but then I decided I wanted some of this colored foiled flower bunch on each side of our oval panel. So I cut that piece down the middle, well, roughly, and I'm getting my placement all figured out. And then I'm going to adhere the two oval panels together and our floral pieces together. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the edge on each side, trying to make sure that this all stays within the boundaries of our main inked and embossed panel, dry embossed. There's a whole lot of techniques in this video, but those techniques are easy to employ. And when you have the tools at hand, it's best to get your most use out of them. And I am a technique junkie. If you haven't figured that out by now, I love to do all kinds of different techniques on my cards to get the biggest wow factor. And honestly, it's all about exploring and using my artistic abilities to create fun projects and for some stress relief. It is just really fun to play with your toys. I call them toys because they are toys to me. Toys, tools, whatever you want to call them. I did go ahead and foil another one of those bouquets, and I laid that over the gold foiling on that oval. I'm adding a couple extra layers of plain white cardstock behind our pink foiled sentiment, and we'll lay that all on top. And I really like the way this all layered through. You do have to be careful to cover your gold foiling as best you can. Next, I'm taking the Trinity stamps Andesine Aura, I think these are called. They're a translucent pink iridescent gem, and they are just gorgeous, and they go perfect on this card. We're going to add a scattering across the front, starting from the upper left-hand corner and going all the way down to the lower right-hand corner. And I did use a lot of gems, but this is a 5x7 card, and it can handle it. And there are a ton of gems in these containers, and I'll be using those for a long time. All right, I foiled another bouquet in the pink, and we're going to carry this design through to the inside of the card. Just going to adhere that down to our card on the inside. And I've been using die cuts a lot lately on the inside of my cards, and I really enjoy it. I did get a little smudge here, so I'm using my sanding block to get that picked up. And now I'm going to take this alphabet, the rainbow alphabet is what I decided to use for this one. And I'm going to adhere these letters to create a sentiment that says live it up. And why not? This is a great way to create whatever sentiment you would like. If you don't have one already in a sentiment stamp or glimmer foil, or now we've got better press too. So many options. Oh my gosh. So I'm carefully lining up the first letter of each of these words to create a diagonal orientation, moving towards the right lower corner of this card. And I'm doing it right over our foiled bouquet. Doesn't take as much space then, and I really like the layered look here. This doesn't affect your card's ability to be folded, and it won't get in the way of you writing your own message on the inside of the card. And I think it really amps up your card design. You do see a little of that bouquet sticking out beyond the edge of the card, but we'll take care of that in just a minute here. So we have all of our sentiment adhered. I'll take my scissors and trim off the parts that are hanging over the edge, and that completes our card. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast playing with all kinds of different techniques. Leave me a comment in the description below this video. Let me know what you loved about it. If you want to use any of the products that I used today, check that description box below. Like, subscribe, and until later, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.